What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of day trading and or plus. We're gonna try our best not to lose this trade. We are currently up by a lot, and we've entered a kind of a consolidation, if you will. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and check news. Fingers crossed we can actually trade today. USD revised UIM consumer sentiment. Okay. You guys got a bank holiday. And tomorrow Saturday. This news does not hit us until 10 a.m. So we'll be on the lookout for that. That being the case, we have all of this to look forward to. This is actually our past trade that we took. We started off down here, we ended up there. It was a good trade day yesterday. We rode all of this all the way up. Very nicely done. Let's go ahead and remove all our drawings so we have a clean slate to work with. Same thing over here. Okay. I think we have a special instance here. It's special, it's not really special. Um, in order to identify when a break of structure occurs in an uptrend, we're looking at our lows. We're looking for a low to get closed below. Right? Makes sense. Well, we haven't had a low, or at least the most recent low, for this right here, break structure. So we are still technically in an uptrend. Our job is to identify whether or not it's going to continue or we're going to have a break of structure. And break of structure is going to form when we have a closure below this key level here or this key level here, either one. And I believe per this consolidation, we're actually looking for a breakout. So either really high up it's going to close or really low down it's going to close. That's currently what we're waiting on though. From this, let's go back up to the hour. Get the bid, the picture. Close the peak to the party one. Don't want to miss out on anything. This is wonderful. Haven't had any fair value gaps since right about here. This was 10 last night. Nope, that was since the trade actually. That was the end of the trade that we took. It's since gone up just a little bit more and then consolidate it out to the side, which is completely understandable, completely reasonable. This is the NASDAQ we're currently working with here. Let's go over the S&P. Do the same thing. Yeah, we had a huge leg up. We had a small leg down here. And since then, a consolidation. We haven't had a fair value gap since literally the end of our trade. I can't tell what that candle right there is. If it's an up or a down. NASDAQ says it's up. Yeah, NASDAQ says it's up, so I can't count that. Let's move up to the hour, get some key levels going. We have our key levels here, obviously, but I'm looking for a well-defined. This is a key level that we can look at. No stuff is actually going to go our way. Okay, so we had a mini breakup structure here. We had this low close below this one. This is the breakup structure we were looking for. This is the reason why it's consolidated. Otherwise, it would have kept going higher. From this move specifically, now that we're in a downtrend, creating lower high, we haven't made an up candle in a while, so we haven't seen a lower low yet. Out of this downtrend now that we're in, what are we looking for? A high to get closed above. Well, we made a high here. Boom. It hasn't gotten closed above. Whole point behind these key levels here. We're looking for it to go up, close above this. So we are currently in a small retrace downtrend. If that makes sense. So right now we should be expecting the price to continue lower. Not much lower, should close below this. Because we know of the fair value gaps we know of here. We're going to mark them. Gap does not matter the size, regardless of how small it is. Fair value gap's a fair value gap. Triple fair value gap going all the way up. We had an inverted fair value gap on this, which means we have a well-defined fair value gap here. Yeah. This is our sign of continuation. It is going to go higher, and sure enough, it has gone higher. We're just in consolidation at the moment. Let's check out our daily, see what it's saying to us. So we have a small fair value gap right there. Very small. According to the daily, there is no fair value gap. This is simply a retrace. Have we closed? We closed above this high here. I'm not seeing where. Okay, so we haven't broke structure on this yet. We had a fair value gap here that was inverted. Cool. From this inversion of fair value gap, we should be seeing price going higher, which that is what it's doing. Per this downtrend we're in, we're looking for a high to get closed above. Well, we didn't get that high to get closed above until this one right here. This is the only high that was closed above, and it was on this candle. Realistically speaking, because of this gap, this candle more so. So what should we be looking for at the moment? Well, per this mini retrace here going back up, we should be looking for a new low to get formed, roughly over here. We should not be seeing it get closed below this low here, so it would have to really barrel back down in order to get below this. And market has the opportunity to do that on a lower time frame. But per this higher time frame, doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that at all. It actually looks like we're going to see price move much higher. It'll need to close above this high here in order for it to continue higher. And after that, we've got a fair value gap here that it's got to test. From that fair value gap, I'm talking about this one right here, right where my pointer is. From this fair value gap, we're looking specifically at price either respecting or disrespecting it. If it closes above that fair value gap, you know price is going to shoot way higher. If it doesn't and respects it, it's going to go lower. Right now, it looks like we're just barely tapping back into it. Just barely. That explains why we're consolidating the way we are. Price doesn't want to move higher because of that fair value gap. Honestly, there is a strong possibility it could disrespect it completely. There's also a strong possibility that it's targeting this low or this low. We want to be extra careful today on making sure that is exactly what it's wanting to do. Let's go ahead and mark out our lows from where we are now. So we have a rough just on where we're going with price. This is a pretty steep decline if we can nail this trade. Fairly steep. And there are no higher ones Oh, no, no, no. No, there are. This one right here. Where price seems to be consolidating at. That is a high we can target. We can target that one. That's high enough. We can target this one. This is high enough. Cool. The next high we could potentially take a profit from is this right here. And this is a stark leap from point A to point B. And it's really a make or break factor on whether or not market decides it wants to close above this fair value gap. If it closes above, the entire trend has shifted. Because at the moment, this is the next high that it's got to close above in order for it to continue higher. Again, for the daily, we're looking at this right here. Holy crap. Yeah. For the daily, outside of this, and on the smaller time frame, looking at pretty much all of it, this right here is the next fair value gap that it would need to close above. On a lower time frame, looking at market movement, much closer, much closer, more closely. There we go. We have two fair value gaps to look at. We have the one on the small time frame. It looks like just the snail trail behind this candle here. And then, of course, we have this fair value gap here, which even on the lower time frame, these two are disconnected. Like this whole draw line there, point A to point B, is completely disconnected. Fair value gap up high on a higher time frame, fair value gap down low on a higher time frame. That's the same thing. Snail trail on higher, fair value gap on lower, and then invert that for lower time frames. Anyway, do I want to mark this fair value gap? Yes-ish. Let's do it for the fun of it. Let's have some fun. Because why not? Because this is the high time frame confluence we're looking at. We want to make this a little bit darker. No. Let's do this because high time frame. We want to make certain we understand and distinguish between these two. That this right here is the high time frame. If this gets closed above, higher time frames hold higher power. That is an inverse for value gap. Prices moving much higher. In the event we see this get closed above, it's gonna move higher. We just don't know how high, and this is a leap because on the lower time frame, we do have a set of key levels here that we could look at, but in ultimate retrospect, even on the lower time frame, there's still a gap to cross. Once this gets crossed, I have no doubt price might actually continue much higher and actually hit this high here. But we won't know that until this right here gets closed above and we get a confirmed break of structure off of one of these key levels here. Actually, yeah, because it'd be a break of structure on a higher time frame because we would need this right here to get closed above. And that is what we are currently waiting on, is a closure above that high, and then from there we can determine that, oh yeah, price is going to move much higher. That's what we're waiting on. That's what we're looking for. Here in a second, let's go ahead and hit the hour. And yeah, we could see that quite clearly. We're within this fair value gap here, and so far it's been respected on all of this, even the consolidation. Yeah, for value gaps out the wazoo down low that price could wind up targeting if it wants to. We're just taking a look and making sure like all three of these are valid. It can wick past this and then continue higher, or it can close below it, inverting this for value gap temporarily, and then we could see it move higher as well. I think what we want to do, what I want to do, I don't want to wait till 10 to determine whether or not price is going to continue higher or lower, but I am going to wait right up until we have a new low or new high to determine what this current price action wants to do, because again, we are consolidating. What we're looking for is a breakout of this, and the best way to do that is to see if we can find a break of structure outside of this one here. Actually, sorry, outside of this one here, because we're looking at a downtrend at the moment. So price goes lower until we have a closure above a high. Once we have that closure above the high, that's where we're going to take action and look for potentially an entrance. That's currently what we're looking for. Five-minute, make sure we didn't just mismark that. We did mismark that by accident. How do you identify a low? Down, up. At the moment, that is not our low. We have a down, up move here. We could have marked that, but the problem is we have a down, up here, and the current low is this right here. So we're waiting on essentially this to get closed below completely, and then from there, that will be the key level marked for the day, for the low off of London and Asian. Because again, each one of these lows have a potential to get crossed up underneath, but we want a closure to know that key level was hit and confirmed hit, so that way we can make the best of our indications throughout the day. We have 39 seconds for this low to get closed below. We're going to pay attention to the price action here and confirm whether or not things are going to go down or up. Let's see what price does. It's got a large spread to this right here, saying price market doesn't know what it wants to do, but price has moved up to here, so there is a potential for it to close below this and then continue higher. We have a fair value gap here and here, indicating price is going to go lower. We have an inverse fair value gap here, so it's inverted. We are in downtrend on a smaller time frame. There, do we have fair value gap over here? We have one there. We have one here that was not closed below. Was that closed below? We have a fair value gap right here that has not been closed below. No. It's been filled. It's been filled. I'm sorry. My mistake. However, we do have a small fair value gap like right there. It's like the tiniest. No? Nope. Okay, so there is no fair value gap within this. There we are. There's a move. We have 4 minutes for this closure to happen. And it's starting to look like we're going for a sell position, to be completely honest. And that would make the most sense. I mean, we did have a huge move up last night. Or, sorry, yesterday morning. My bad. We're going to wait for this right here to close, because until it does, we have essentially like no other low target. That is a large spread to, on two candles, prices have the opportunity to go this high and this low at the same time. It wouldn't be uncharacteristic if it closed below, because that's within structure. However, we're not getting an inverse fair value gap from this, so literally our best hope in seeing price continue higher is a break of structure above a high. Right now, the most recent high is this right here, up, down, boom. If something closes above this, that's a looking for a break of structure. I believe we have a breaker block here, indicating that price is not wanting to go even higher. It can't go higher because there's no room for it to. So we have these two candles here formed, indicating that price is in fact going to be moving much lower. Let's see what the hour is saying. Hour saying price is going to move much lower. Nowhere near the spread we have on the lower time frame for price going all the way up here, but at the same time, I completely understand it. I want to try and implement some of these, some of this stuff right here. I want to try and identify some of that. Order blocks make the most sense to me. In an uptrend, we're looking for a sign of reversal. What exactly are we looking for? We're looking for literally an order block, so a leg up, a sweep of liquidity, which is the sign of reversal. So price would need to move higher. Would it need to get closed above? I don't know, not really. Let's look at our liquidity sweep notes right quick. Goals right here. Resting orders is essentially highs and lows. Candles to form and are not solely the highs from an arch or the lows of an arch. Are your structure to the upside? Okay. Okay, cool. Overtime okay, cool. Liquidity is when price is achieved and the resulting condition is others exchanging their money for trades. Okay. Liquidity is where orders will be filled. People will need to exit the market while others come in, all while the banks are filling orders from people leaving the market. How to spot liquidity? This is one of the most difficult concepts. Liquidity is when the most recent high is taken out by the next. When a high is taken out by the next. What does that mean? If I'm not mistaken, that means closed above, not. Indicating when a change in the market will immediately happen through a much sooner break of structure. Well, I imagine it's actually this right here. Because you see we have an up down here. This would be the current high. It gets closed above here, right? And then we get a break of structure to the downside. We had a closure below this low here. And as a result, here's our break of structure, and confirming this liquidity sweep. Price goes a little bit higher and then tanks on down from this. If I had to guess, that's what that means. Of course, from this arch that occurs, we have a draw on liquidity here. No fair value gaps, so no absence of orders being filled. Alright, let's check the 5-minute because it's been long enough. Alright, so we don't care about this low anymore. We do care about this low here. We want to see an up candle from this. How do you identify low? Down, up, boom. There's your current price action. Again, we're currently concerned with everything up until this line here. We do not want to mark anything from this line this way. We'll identify the most recent low from here this way, and then of course mark it. We want to make sure that we have our lowest point set between Asian and London session. The best way to do that is just to wait until a low is formed off of a closure and then an up candle immediately after. And price does have the opportunity to continue much lower. I'm just preemptively finding this and then marking it so that way it's as easy as pie when I go and oh, it got moved and it was before this line. Okay, so we'll just move it lower. Here's our spread, and that is a large gap, a very large leap down on London session's part when it comes to price movements. Very volatile today. Very, very volatile. Do I think where I am right now is as good as I can get when it comes to identifying my key levels? Yeah, my key levels are well defined, well established, and understood for what they are. We understand them. We have a fair value gap here, actually. Let's go ahead and mark that. I think that's about key level to mark. I think this would need to be disrespected for it to continue much higher. And for it to continue lower, we'd be looking at a fair value gap that needs to be disrespected all the way down here. We have one here. I think this is the one that has to get disrespected. So we'll go ahead and mark this. Because again, a respected fair value gap is cool, but it needs to be disrespected to continue on down. So we have two fair value gaps we're looking at. We are looking at this one here. Go ahead and change this color because this is the green fair value gap that we want disrespected, and then this is the red fair value gap we want disrespected. There are so many colors on your screen. Orb, what the heck? Chris, what happened? What's going on here? Why is it like this? Well, we have several fair value gaps. We have this one, this one, this one here. All three of these are from the leg up that price could easily target any of. We're primarily concerned with two. The first one is up here on the lower time frame. This would be the official break of structure needed, or I'm sorry, the inverse fair value gap needed to know price is going to go higher. When this is disrespected, we know price would need to close above this high. That is the final check mark to knowing price is going to continue higher. Right now it's gone lower, so we're kind of shying away from that at the moment. But for it to continue a lot lower, we're also looking at essentially this key value here. This green fair value gap we've marked is the only fair value gap within this entire arch that has not been disrespected. And as a result, outside of course, this one here on a higher time frame, this one holds more power than this one does. But this is the defining one that says, yes, as soon as this is closed below, price is going to tank all the way back down and potentially close below 1, 2, and 3 fair value gaps. We have essentially marked our two extremes when it comes to this arch here to determine where price is going to go. We know that on a higher time frame, we have a huge fair value gap right here that if it does get closed below, or I'm sorry, if it does not get closed above, we know price is going to continue back down and retrace for that higher time frame confluence, right? But if it does close above this, and again, because it is a marked high that we're looking at here, if this red fair value gap gets disrespected and we know this is crossed above and then closed above, it is going to be above this fair value gap, and from that we can pretty much determine, yes, price is going to go much higher really quickly because we have closed above not only a fair value gap but a marked high on the high time frame confluence. Yeah, and then price is just going to continue much higher, way higher. So we made a new low because this was not the lowest point, but this one was. This may have gone super low, but it wasn't a low that we could validly mark. Identify a low in the market, down, up. Lowest point between the two, mark. That's what we're looking at. From there, stuff. Woke up extremely early today. Where's my phone out? There it is. It might be best of me to go ahead and start doing the chart work on Trade Locker. Kind of wish there was an ability to take all the work I put onto this and then throw it onto this symbol as well. And make things a little bit more interesting, to say the least. That way I can just manipulate the market on this and then see the result on that. I get there probably is, but still. Let's go up to the hour. Ooh, yeah. Price is dancing at the moment. And we don't care about that low at the moment. We are paying attention to some of fair value gaps there. Keeps doing it. We're getting fair value gaps off of this entire leg down here. I'm looking at the 5-minute on both because, yeah, we have double fair value gap here and here. It looks like we keep getting faked out. We have essentially every single time one of these forms, price moves up a little bit and then proceeds to barrel back down, creating these fair value gaps here and this one soon to form here. Price is currently taking too. We have fair value gap here that it's, I believe, targeting. We're looking for this to get respected for it to continue higher. And of course, if it continues past and closes below, we know it's going to keep going. From there, it's just barrel on down, barrel on through, and then yeah, we have a triple fair value gap here. If this gets closed below, we know price is shooting much lower. And it could just be targeting this right here to respect this fair value gap and then shoot much higher. I think this is the result of they're just having a holiday. Say they're just having a holiday. Not entirely sure what exactly is going on. Good for forecast. It's this right here. This apparently is high impact news for GBP. And from that, we have huge leg down. What time did this hit? This hit 2 a.m. my time. 2 a.m. is like that's literally this right here. It was a delayed reaction. Because we had price move much higher, and so we had a fair value gap here. We wanted to target. It inverted it almost immediately after. Price continued a little bit higher, but because of the inverse fair value gap in this right here, and we knew news, I guess, is going to be. We knew it was going to be high impact, and so it created this fair value gap, inverting all of this. As a result, we had price tank. I would explain also why we haven't had fair value gap since this right here. This pretty much explains it. Good there, good there. And the fair value gap here that was inverted briefly, and then because it was already going to be on the move down. Fair value gap there, close below. Fair value gap here, close below. Fair value gap here, respected, barreled on down. Wow. Price is really tanking at the moment. This line here is literally just all the way down here at the moment. It just keeps going down, down, down. Really crazy stuff at the moment. The only reason I'm on the 5 minute is to get the best depiction of the session's lowest point. After we have marked the lowest point, we're going to move up to the hourly, and we're going to see if price wants to continue on down through our key level. If it does, and it'll be after this candle opens and closes that we begin to look for a trade. We can determine off of that key level being hit whether or not price is going to whether or not price is going to continue down or move much, much higher. Look at that. Well, I can't say that just yet. I said look at that with 4 minutes left for that candle to close, knowing dang well every single time I've seen a green candle on this entire leg down, every single time it has reversed before its closure and continued much further down. It's just one big line of red. So we're kind of jumping the gun every time we say something like that. I need to stop getting my hopes up. I just need to wait for it to form. Are my feelings in the right now? Am I emotionally correct at the moment? Emotionally speaking, I'm tired. I just woke up from a technically 5 hours worth of sleep. Went to sleep at like 11. Woke up at right at 6, actually. I went to use the restroom, get a cup of tea, Came back to lay down to find my phone going off. I could have waited another hour if I really put my mind to it. I could have waited another hour, and that's just me thinking I'm tired, right? Um, I really need to get to bed at an earlier time so that I can wake up full of energy so I can actually do this without yawning 100 times or feeling like I want to get back into bed, put head to pillow, and then pass out for the next 100 times today. Feel like I could be a grizzly bear at any moment. Just go to sleep, my little den, and not wake up for a little while. Wake up when I want to, and then boom, I'm good to go for 2 months out of the year, and then I'm back to sleep. I am. That's what I feel like right now. Do I feel like I can competently identify the building blocks needed to do this? Yes. However, I'm also looking at one, liquidity and learning it again because it's been a while since I've implemented a liquidity sweep. And then I'm also looking at essentially the breaker block side of things, the order block, and of course the equilibrium to determine if competently I can apply those without misidentifying them as something else. They're fairly easy to spot, and I completely understand their definitions. However, to apply it to the market is another gist because a breaker block is identified as an imbalance within the market, similar to that of a fair value gap that cannot be passed above by wick or candle, and if it is, price is continuing in the other direction. An order block is essentially the leg right before, or the leg that causes a liquidity sweep, and then from there, the breaker structure to the other side. Um, I understand both of those, and the order block is the easier of the two to spot. It's the breaker block that I can confidently say I have trouble with spotting sometimes. I can say that about the breaker block. I understand where it's supposed to form, typically before an order block, before the cause that causes the liquidity sweep, right? Um, and from there, I could just identify that and continue on. I just need to run through each of the not each of the definitions, but the gosh, what's it? I just need to look through each of the individual blocks. So I am identifying the ones I need to, and the time it takes for them to form, to best get a grasp on what market wants to do. There we go. I recovered there. You see that? See that chat? Oh, hello. Okay. I was about to say we have a new low. Woo. And then price decided to barrel past what I just marked. Can't seem to get it marked all that well either. My finger's too big and screen's too small. There we go. That works. Sucks that it decided to do that though. Like I legit marked it and then price said, "Yeah, no, you're gonna have to do it again." Whee! Luckily for me, I know how to identify a low within the market though. I have to remember it's an imbalance just like a fair value gap, so this could be targeting a breaker block. Think about it. Could be targeting this right here, this red. Although, because that's a reverse breaker block, the wick. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. So this was a disrespected uh, breaker block here because the wick was below it. It's a downside breaker block. So the rule is price can't go below the wick of that breaker block on a red candle. As a result, price moves higher if it's disrespected. If it's not lower than this, then price will continue down. I think that's what this is targeting. Combined with a fair value gap on, I believe it's the higher time frame. That's what I'm looking at. Combined with a fair value gap on the higher time frame, this right here has got to come down and either fill this breaker block completely, which means the wick has got to go all the way down to this wick here, or it's got to close below this fair value gap. If it closes below, we know price is going to go lower. If it fills this breaker block completely and we have the wick here, it'll probably continue lower as well because it's already gone higher. So it's got to refill it, retest it. If the wick can't pass this fair value gap or this breaker block here, price will continue much higher. Does that seem logical? I think it seems logical. It seems logical to me. That makes the most sense. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're looking at price now. We're essentially just waiting. YOLO. Let's see if it actually hits that line and then just bounces off of it. There's one candle that's gone lower. It's the candle directly after the next on trading view, right? It has not created a new low though. At least not until we have a green candle going up. It hasn't. Today's stream day. We have random game to decide to play. What game do we want to play, chat? Comment section, sorry. I've got a bunch of computer games we could play. Got even more console games. There's a new game out called Oblivion Remastered. It's not really new. It's a remaster of an old game, but the remaster looks awesome. Today I'm supposed to be also watching a Twitch streamer at 11 a.m. I'm already awake, trying to take a trade. You go away. 11 a.m. though, there's supposed to be a stream out that I have got to take my time watching at least a half hour or an hour and a half of the stream. From that, it's essentially just waiting for that to be a thing, to get a drop, and then from that I get a code I can play a new game on, like something in its alpha stage, super new, right? Oh, hello. We might actually have a new low. I think we're about to witness a breaker block form. Potentially. The breaker block in a downtrend is a green candle that moves up with a huge snail trail up high, right? And then for it to be a respected breaker block and for price to continue on down, the price cannot move above the wick it leaves behind, right? A disrespected breaker block essentially says price is going to keep moving higher. From that, it'll just keep moving higher. Again, breaker blocks usually occur right before order blocks do. Order blocks are the signs that cause liquidity sweeps within the market. And then, of course, the breakup structure in a downtrend is when a high is closed above. So if we get a closure above that high, we know price is going to definitely move much higher. How much higher, we don't really know because we have a lot of fair value. We have two fair value gaps. We have two valid fair value gaps in that leg down that price could target. I thought about using my phone, but my phone's currently in use with Trade Locker. We don't want to miss out on our trades for Trade Locker and trading views. So, with that being said, I think what I'm going to do for 11 a.m. when it gets to that time, we have 3 hours, 4 hours, sorry. We have 4 hours until that hits. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to queue it up on my laptop. So you're going to see Bright and then Brighter because I'm also going to be installing two new games, Diablo 6 and Oblivion Remastered. Get them both set up on my console so that way we have that to stream later on too. I'll be playing that pretty much all weekend, but like bouncing back and forth between the two. And then for this new game, when I get it, if and when I get it, I can go ahead and just queue that up and then throw it on either. I hope they have a console edition. I hope they do because that would be kind of cool if they did. I just hope they actually give out the same opportunity they did with the other game. So I'm currently hunting down the alpha trial for Soulframe, right? It's kind of like Warframe, but its own little thing. Free to play completely still, and they're adding more and more to it as time goes on. It's in its alpha stage. The game is not ready for the general public, and they're handing out codes like they're candy. The opportunity I'm talking about is similar to that of Warframe, where they essentially offered Excalibur Prime, which is an exclusive Warframe so few people got back in 2016, 2015 when the game first released out of its beta. You had to pay like $250 to get the Excalibur with Leto Prime and Scholar Prime. It's sealed. You can't get that anymore. And it's kind of disappointing because I watched that pack come and go and I wanted it badly. But it didn't work out. And as a result, I couldn't get a hold of it. I missed out on that opportunity, but I am old enough and wise enough and smart enough now to say I am 100% going to be going after that. I'm not going to miss this opportunity this time. If I have to get a job in order to make that paycheck, in order to get the opportunity that I'm looking for, I'll do that. Because I don't want to miss out this time. It's not fun. Hello. Alrighty. We're about to actually look at some stuff. Dang, I actually got that really close. I'm getting good at this, aren't I? Just a little bit. Just getting a little bit good. Currently what I'm looking at is two green candles off of this red one here. We have a huge green candle moving up to here. And then the very next candle, like that one right there, is green as well. It's closing up above it, which means we are going to have a disrespected breaker block here. And that price is going to continue much higher. From this green candle right here as well, if this one closes upwards, we'll have a fair value gap on this, not inverting anything, which means it'll be a valid fair value gap that says price is moving higher. How much higher, we don't really know. We're going to wait patiently and see exactly how high it goes, how high it wants to go. Did we get a key level hit? No, we didn't, actually. It didn't close below this fair value gap. It didn't close within the fair value gap. It didn't even touch the fair value gap. So there is still a potential for price to continue on downward just to claim this fair value gap specifically. But per the sign that we have a fair value gap up here now that has opened up and is a valid one, because prior to that there was no fair value gap outside of this one here, maybe like no, it's just those two, that one and this one. This fair value gap does not cover an inverse of fair value gap over here at all. So we're actually looking at price breaking out of its structure because we had a high form and it closed above it. We broke structure out of this down spiral. As a result, we're going to see price, it looks like, move much higher. We got 2 minutes and 14 seconds as well, so we're essentially waiting at the moment for this to work out the way we want it to. I am not opposed to taking a sell position. I just find my luck a little bit better when it comes to buying in and watching price go higher than I am lower. And we're still in a down position, down trend. We're still in a down trend. Though we broke structure down here, we still have fair value gaps to close above in order to inverse this move and continue higher. And then we also have this high here we've got to close above, and then from this high onward, if we want to see price continue from this motion here up, we need a closure above this fair value gap. We need a closure above this fair value gap, this big yellow one, and this key level here. If it closes above that, we know it's going higher. If it doesn't, sad to say, going to be a little bit more difficult to take a trade. For it to continue lower and for us to actually take a trade off of that, we would need our key level to get hit. And again, it's got to be after this candle right here opens and closes. Until we see that, we're waiting patiently. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video now. I'm going to let it play out. I'm actually going to like walk away and everything. I'm not even going to pay attention to it because I don't want anything to do with anything having to like really mess with price. I just want to chill for a little bit, have it set up, have my stream set up, good to go. And then from there, I'll just come back. We'll look at our key levels. We'll look at what price has done since we left, and from that, we will act accordingly. The closest news we have is at 10. I intend to come back around 8 to ensure that we are within time frame to actually, take a trade. Yeah, with that being said, I'll be right back. Okay. BRB. Hope you guys are ready for stream today too, because it's gonna be a fun stream that we're about to have. About to have a whole lot of fun. All right, so it is currently 8:01 a.m., which means we need to be looking at this line here for a candle open and closure. The low for London is set. We're not going lower than that on London session, and we have our fair value gap here that it respected. Hasn't even touched, actually. So price has gone up this high in the past hour. It's gone up a little bit in the hour that's started and is forming now. We're currently waiting to see if this key level is going to get hit or if this key level is going to get hit. We're going to go all the way to 1030-ish. If 1030 comes and goes and neither of these key levels have been hit, or this one right here does not get hit, right? We are going to happily leave market entirely, de-risk completely. We're not going to take a trade today. We're going to take what we've earned for the week and call it there, and I hope you guys have a great week. But it's looking like, per this fair value gap, now that it's formed, and we can say that this is a valid fair value gap now, this has to get disrespected for it to go higher. This tells me, regardless of what this does, it's got to come up first. We need a retrace. We need a test of this area first. How long that's going to take, I have no idea. I imagine it's going to take a little bit. From these two candles here, we're essentially wanting this area to get tested. If it's respected, it'll go lower. If it's disrespected, it'll go higher. And what's funny, what's actually pretty cool about this, is that it's also within equilibrium. Between this white line and this white line is our current price range, with the exception of this black line right here, and that's Asian sessions high. London session high and low has such a large spread that equilibrium is legitimately the area to look for. So we're waiting for this right here to get retested. We don't want to see price come back up into this, test it, and either continue down or break it and continue higher. That's what we're waiting on. Per this downtrend that we're currently seeing ourselves in, we broke structure here on this candle specifically because we had a low close below on a uptrend. Per this downtrend now, we're waiting for a high to get closed above. The most recent high is this right here. We had a large leap down with zero break in between. We have two fair value gaps, one on a small time frame and another on a larger time frame. I need to turn that down. I was jamming yesterday. Holy crap. I'm going to bring that down to a 10 because, wow, that was in my eardrum. But yeah, that's currently what we're waiting on. Nothing about this screams we're going to be hitting a level anytime soon, with the exception of this fair value gap. And again, we are taking a trade based off of the reaction from a key level being hit, so we need to be on the utmost tippy toe. Our idea is correct or not when it comes to entering the market, and we need to be confident in our building blocks. At this time, I'm feeling optimistic with a side of caution. That is where I am at the moment. It's just a matter of waiting. I'm going to pause the video again when we hit our key level the way we want it to get hit, or if it doesn't get hit and we have to reconfigure our thought process, so be it. We'll wait patiently, and from there, yeah, we'll work on it. With that being the case, BRB. Okay, so we have since waited a decent while actually. Looking at current price action, right? We have this candle here up into our fair value gap. We don't exactly know how far it's respected that fair value gap. It went up to about right there ish. That's how far price has gone up. It hasn't closed yet. We still have 30 minutes to get that to work out the way we want it to. If we were to treat this as a key level, from here I'd go to the 5 minute. We'd be looking for an inverse fair value gap or a break of structure, right? We did hit the fair value gap here once already, but that was before our 8 o'clock mark. This has it going much higher. Our break of structure or inverse fair value gap would result in, we have uptrend, 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 break of, nope, still uptrend. We have an uptrend going. Boom, that's here. Let's go to the 5 minute on the app, see if we can find anything. So boom. We have a similar situation. Literally every candle after those two red on that moved down. So these two right here, every single one of these candles that has gone up into this has been a green candle, none of which have present. No. I'm sorry. There is one that's presenting a fair value gap, a single one. So that is what we're looking at. We're looking at price to come back down and clear a fair value gap. Let's go ahead and mark that right quick. Boom. That fair value gap is now marked. If that fair value gap is closed below, that is our inverse fair value gap on the 5 minute. From there, we'll be looking for other confluences to satisfy our entrance. If it's a respected fair value gap, this right here is, which it's starting to look like it is. If this is respected enough, I am confident in saying price is going to continue going down, which works in our favor. However, we need an inverse fair value gap and a break of structure to confirm that this is in fact a respected fair value gap. From that, we need to go downwards down our list of building blocks here until we manage to get our entrance pretty much figured out. Yeah. Okay, so we have 2 minutes for this candle to close on the 5 minute. Looks like we are going to have a inverse for value gap. No lows were closed below. We have had a break of structure on the downtrend. We had a high. No, I'm sorry. So per this, we have not had a high breakout of structure. Unless we want to count this right here, this candle here, closing above this as a break of structure out of this downtrend. This would be considered the uptrend up until this point. Same story here. We had a fair value gap that was inverted here. Said price was going to continue higher. It did and went up into this. Respected the fair value gap. I don't think it's closed. Oh, hello. Updates on that. Updates on that. We're 2 candles behind where we are now. All of this goes up into it. This candle here is large. This candle here is like gonna dupe us, I think. Not that one, this one. This candle right here is gonna dupe us. It's gonna shoot all the way down here. Or like in the middle of this, and then it's gonna like skyrocket back up. I think we might have a disrespected fair value gap. In which case price is going higher. Let's check the news and see what's happening with it. Nothing as of yet. 10 o'clock is 30 minutes away. I has a bit of a problem. Because on the 5 minute time frame we have a fair value gap here. That was respected. Price went lower. Boom. Yay. It created a fair value gap on a higher time frame, the hourly. Since then we've had we've had 2 disrespected fair value gaps saying price is continuing higher. I'm looking at it now. That is a disrespected secondary fair value gap over where the cursor's marked right now. If that candle closes the way it is a 100% disrespected fair value gap. The way I'm looking at it, though, price is going to continue higher up until we get to roughly this fair value gap right here. We want to be extremely careful. We need to be absolutely careful. Absolutely careful, because we do now have a inverse fair value gap on the 5 minute per this here. From that inverse, we need to move on to a fair value gap, breaker block, order block, or equilibrium confluence, our continuation. What is telling us price is going to move higher? We want to see a fair value gap. We want to see, and it has to be a gap. It has to be either that or a breaker block, an order block, or an equilibrium. I don't think we're going to see a breaker block. I don't know. I think our breaker block was this right here. This green candle and all these red candles combined. Pretty sure this was the failed retrace back to the downside to break past this low. As a result, price filled off of this low, and from that, we have a trek up. Disrespected fair value gap. So I think what this is a breaker block, order block, and then from here we have, or just there. I think what I want to look for at the moment, outside of the inverse fair value gap that this is currently forming, which can and might occur, it won't occur there, won't occur there, won't occur there, won't do there. That's the closest one on the 1 minute to actually receiving that inverse fair value gap. Oof. Anyway, sorry, I'm watching a Twitch stream, just trying to get that out of the way. I can't mute anything just yet, so I'm gonna have to mute that here soon. But I'm looking for on the 5 minute, because if that is an order block and we do get a fair value, yep, I'm still looking at the live time for price action. I don't think we're going to get a fair value gap, but I do think we're going to get a break of structure, and that break of structure is going to be massive. It's got to break up above this right here. If price goes up above this, that'll be our break of structure. Either the candle we are on right now or the next candle is going to be the deciding factor. And that could not have come at a better time, because we're looking at the 5 minute. It's currently 9:38. Ten is when news hits. Kind of skeptical about it, to be completely honest with you guys, because we have two fair value gaps, one that was just disrespected and one that's still being respected. And the first one that was disrespected was on a high time frame that said price was going to move higher on the hour here. I can show you for this. Yeah. So we have this here. Price disrespected it. It is well above it. We're wanting to see price jump all the way up here to invert this fair value gap on the lower time frame. We're also looking for a fair value gap on the lower time frame as well to form, because we need that as our continuation confluence. We have our breaker block, we have our order block. I want to see a fair value gap on the 5 minute. So far, we broke above that green candle that's sitting right here. We just broke above this on the live price view. Patiently waiting on that one. I didn't see it before, but we also have this right here. As much as this, no, this is a valid fair value gap that we can actually look at here. Boom. That fair value gap was respected. We should have seen that a second ago. So I failed to identify that fair value gap being respected. Make sure I get that absolutely correct, because I don't want that being. Yeah. Okay. Like, let's do this because I can barely see that. It's right here. Boom. So yeah, that was respected. No closures below. We should have seen this earlier. I should have seen this earlier. I can't believe I didn't. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. Comment section. Oh no, my phone. Boom. There you go. Ooh, we have a red candle down. Oh no, we've been faked out once already. Fair value gap on the bottom has been respected. That should have been a key value we found way earlier. Way earlier. Shoot, if we had seen that here, it got hit, we could have probably worked off of this, worked for a break of structure or inverse for value gap. Our break of structure here, let's see, because we were in an uptrend per this move up here. We're in an uptrend. So we'd be looking at the lows to get closed below. We did not get a break of structure, but we did get an inverse for value gap on that candle there. It closed above it. So inverse for value gap, is one confirmation. We would need either a fair value gap, breaker block, order block, or equilibrium. I think we got a fair value gap here. It's a small fair value gap, but it's still a fair value gap. Yeah, this is the fake out candle I was mentioning earlier. This thing goes all the way down to where it is and then shoots way high, which is good. It's okay. That's all right in our opinion, in my opinion. So going back to what I was saying about this, we did not get a break of structure, but we did get an inverse fair value gap here, a tiny inverse fair value gap that was closed below. From this, we would have gone ahead and done our breaker block, order block, equilibrium, or fair value gap. I think at the same time we got this, we also got our, I don't know, if that's the case, this would have been considered our order block. I think we got our breaker block, inverse fair value gap at the same time. Or the breaker block formed the fair value gap we needed, right? From that, we got the inverse fair value gap we needed, and then because that was an order block, and this is what we were treating as, because the breaker block formed the fair value gap, and we got the inverse immediately after, we could have easily gone ahead and said this was not only a fair value gap, inverse fair value gap, but it was also a order block that caused the sweep higher. We are in an uptrend per this, right? So we'd be looking for the break of structure later on to occur. That is a closure below a low, but because we didn't spot this until we saw this right here and this fair value gap form, and we go like, oh, that's a thing, we need to look at that. We also caught this right here being disrespected, I think. Yeah, that was a disrespected fair value gap for sure, because it shoots all the way up to here, right? Ooh. So it closes right on. It closes right on it. It looks like. If it doesn't close on it, it closes just above it. Just above it. I'm talking just barely above. This high was closed above, so we got a break of structure off of this key level here, regardless. From this break of structure, we'd be looking for a fair value gap to continue price higher. From that fair value gap, we'd be looking for, on the 1 minute, another break of structure or an inverse fair value gap. That is a valid fair value gap that formed, but it wasn't until it's before that. We're still in need of a fair value gap in this right here. Something right here has to form a fair value gap for us to go ahead and move on with that. Simply has to. Oh no, we might get it off this red candle that's forming now. I don't want to miss out. It's not a fear of missing out, it's just me not wanting to miss out. That is extremely tiny. If that is one, that is exceptionally tiny. So let's make something perfectly clear. Per this little move right here, we're in an uptrend, which makes sense. However, per the larger time scale, per the larger time frame, at the moment, we are in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low, lower low, right? Lower high, we're waiting on a lower low here. So we have a well bona fide disrespected fair value gap right here, right? Let's put the hour. I say let's wait for that hour. Let's go, hang on, let me go back up to the hour right quick because I have a feeling. Yep, my feeling was founded. Okay, so we did not disrespect this fair value gap on the high time frame. It shot up this high, but in the span of time that it's been here, it's also come back down to like here. And it's just bouncing around this level here. So we wicked this fair value gap respecting it, right? We respected that fair value gap, which means price might continue lower. That's what that means. When a fair value gap is respected, that's a sign of continuation. Price is moving down in a downtrend. Or if it's disrespected in a downtrend, it'll be moving up. With that being the case, I'm glad we spotted that. Glad we're cross-referencing. We're making progress here, comment section. Okay? Okay. With a respected fair value gap, now that we know that's a thing. We had move up. We're waiting for, because if we treated that as a key level, second key level being hit, because we hit this one first, respecting it. We need one of these two to be disrespected. We caught that just in time. We had two key levels hit in a very, very brief span of time. It's not there yet. Okay, so we're waiting. It's about to be, it's literally in 1 minute and 9:50. This is our time, golden hour to try and trade. Our goal, our hope, our attempt at doing this is essentially us really dialing in here. Because if by 10:30 on the low time frame this is not disrespected, and if by 10:30 on the high time frame this is not disrespected, we are not going to be trading today. Here are our two key levels. Here is our price range we are setting for 10:30. If by 10:30 small time frame disrespected, it's going to continue down. If by 10:30 high time frame this is disrespected, it's going to go higher. This is our bias. This is what we're sticking with. In the event neither of these are disrespected, come 10:30, we are leaving the market. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day. It's been a very wonderful Friday. I seriously can't wait to watch this stream that's about to occur, because there's a drop happening and I get a new game that's in the alpha. I really cannot wait to actually play it. It actually looks really dang good. Something up my alley for once, from this dev specifically. So with that being the case, we're going to continue watching this until we have either one, the bottom or the top disrespected fair value gaps form. That is what we're looking for at the moment. Right now we have literally that occurring. Again, we gotta make sure this is correct when we say it. That right there goes down before our 9:50 candle. And we still have 9 minutes for that candle to close. If that candle closes, I'm expecting price to move much lower. Simply put, let's actually look at this like this. We're going to do this right here, so that way we're not confused. We can see clearly, because this is the trade idea. These two right here are the trade idea. We need to be exceptionally careful with this. It cleared this fair value gap here, but respected it with only a wick. It closed and is about to close in 8 minutes, roughly in this area, right where this pointer is. We can move down to the low time frame and check this out. The higher time frame holds the higher power. So this is the trade idea we're sticking with. Absolutely. If this is disrespected before 10:30, I'm looking for this key level right here to get hit. This white line. I'm looking for that white line specifically to get hit. If that's hit before 10:30, we know price is going to continue lower. That is the point. That is disrespected fair value gap. That is key level 1, the lowest point within the day currently being hit, and price continuing lower. Do we have a lower point? We don't. This is a fair value gap, I think, on a high time frame. Yep, That's a fair value gap on a high time frame. So we have two high time frame confluences and a low time frame potential confluence here. That is pretty much spelling out to us, hey, we might get hit, and if we do, you know where we're going. You can see here, it was disrespected until this came back down, and I believe it disrespects it a second time. It closes back up underneath it. Yep, there it goes. And as a result, we have legs going down. Holy crap. Since I've been talking, this candle has gone into the red. It's gone down so far. It's hit the red. So now we're paying very close attention. We have 10 minutes till 10. Our trade happens before 10:30 or not at all. Period. Period. I think we're going to cut it close, and we're going to be watching time after each and every confluence is confirmed to determine this price action being the way it needs to be. News hits at 10. I want to keep that well up there. News hits at 10. This is going to be one very rocky trade. If we trade. Because, oh, wait. I don't think we'll be able to trade today. Because the advice from TJR is wait 10 to 20 minutes for the reaction to go off, for it to do its thing. If by the time news hits, we wait 20 minutes for a reaction, and that reaction says, hey, we just hit a high time frame way the flip up here, the idea is shot because we just hit 1, 2, and guess what? 3 key levels. Technically 4 because we've already hit this once. We hit this 3 times. And all 3 of these are high time frame confluences. This fair value gap, this fair value gap, or sorry. This one, and that one there is a high time frame fair value gap confluences, right? This one was not inverted. It's still a valid high time frame confluence. It's still there. It's just been wicked up above and closed below. We have 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes for it to close. Why are you trying to turn off? Stop turning off. Wake up. You have a game to install, and I have a game to stream for 5 hours. I'm thinking of streaming Elden Ring for 5 hours, to be completely honest. I was on a grind a while ago, and I think I caught it on stream too. It was laggy, but I caught it on stream of a essentially 100% grind. I went straight to every single boss. I looked up a list, and I just kept going to boss to boss to boss to boss to boss. I think by the end of that list, I'm going to go down and check every single one of them with like a boss health bar, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the ones I have killed, and then from there I'm going to put the ones I have not in the non-killed list, right? And from that, it's going to be a matter of going back through New Game Plus and then defeating those bosses specifically. I'm thinking about just walking around the map regardless of what and where I am, right? I'm just going to kill them. And then from there, that saves just... I'm here to 100%. That is it. I need this phone on and visible so I can see stuff. We have not crossed. So we crossed this again, right? This line here is standing strong. This white line that crosses into this green fair value gap here on the low time frame, that's there. It's staying there. We have not seen a line go as far as touching this key value here. And price has not gone up higher than this here. It's essentially respected that fair value gap. I think it's going to go lower. That is what my bias is. It is without question going lower because that was a respected fair value gap. It is still a respect, yeah, because yeah, that's a valid one too. We have 2 minutes 40 seconds for that to close. We're going to wait patiently. If we went down, I wonder, let's see. That's good. Let's go here. See, and that line looks like it's about to hit. We have a fair value gap on this candle here that has formed. This candle forms about right there. We have a fair value gap saying price is going to continue lower. It does look like we are within the fair value gap right here at the moment. Whether or not it's going to respect it is entirely questionable. From the looks of things, it looks like it might disrespect it. I don't know. That we are on the candle. That's going to decide this trade, I think. Because either it disrespects it and we're good, or it doesn't and it continues back up, and now we're back into the air with questions. Where is it going to go? I don't know if I want to trade right now, looking at this. The price action looks cool. I mean, we sat here at 6 a.m. almost 4 hours ago now, watching this entire thing form all the way down to here, thinking, okay, this is a wonderful setup because we had a huge leg down. We forgot about this huge leg up that we caught the other day. We saw this leg down and thought, yes, price is definitely going to boomerang back up, which it technically has. I mean, it has gone higher and higher since this dip right here, and the fact that we broke structure on the 5-minute. That does not take away from the fact that on the hour, this is still one massive red candle down with a fair value gap that has been respected on multiple time frames now. So we need to, I need to calm my britches down, and we need to very carefully navigate this. I am exercising caution. We have not hit that. We're going to move this back over here. Good. And we're going to watch that very carefully. 3, 2, 1, close. Respected fair value gap. It respected that one. We've now got a green candle that's forming. And it's moving rapidly. We have an hour. We have 30 minutes. Sorry. We have 30 minutes for this to close. News has hit. We're looking at news unfold now. Let's just make sure. Yep, there it goes. So what was the result of this? If greater than forecast is good for currency. If it's green, money go down. I'm looking at a really big green candle on current price action. Let's go down to 5 minutes, see what it has there. Yeah. As a fair value gap that I believe is about to get disrespected because of news. You ever get the feeling like it doesn't matter how well sealed your house is, how insulated it is, your nose is going to get stuffed with pollen. And the doors doesn't even have to be open. You're just here suffering because nostrils and pollen. Ugh. Two minutes, 30 seconds for that candle to close. It looks like it is going to disrespect that fair value gap, which means news is about to have an interesting reaction. We might not get to trade today. and it's looking more and more like it. Very difficult to say. Two minutes for that closure. I'm looking at the 5 minute specifically because that's the confluence I'm looking at. Because we have hit that fair value gap for like a fourth time now. On the hourly, it's been respected. I think this is the actual deciding candle. Because if this candle respects it, we can't get that retrace back up the way we need it to. We just broke structure on an uptrend, I think. No, we actually, yeah, we broke structure earlier. I think we disrespected that fair value gap on the 5 minute. This green one, I think that was a disrespected fair value gap. News is saying let's go higher, but the market's saying no, we're going lower, much lower. News is a fake out. 30 seconds. All right, so we have that candle closure. It didn't disrespect the fair value gap that was formed on this down candle for the 5 minute. Here, show. Whew. Gosh, my ear done popped. Guess we have a storm on the way. So we had a green candle form up above this. We did not disrespect that. What the heck? Wait, no. 1, 2, 3. So this right here disrespects this. We have a green candle form immediately after. That green candle shoots all the way up to the top of this right here. From this, so I'm wrong. It shoots all the way up here. The wick respects this fair value gap, but closes here. Our second candle after which is a green candle again, and it's actually moving higher. It's moving up again. This is why we wait 10 to 20 minutes after news, so we can depict what's going to happen and when. We have this, and it is holding strong because it's greater than the forecast. Good for currency. Price goes down. We no longer need this. I'm going to minimize that. You should be able to see what I'm seeing. Yes, good. Okay. It disrespected the fair value gap, but it did not break structure off of the uptrend. Because right now, that is the current low here. If it broke structure here, we would have seen it continue on down. But because it hasn't, we're looking at it going higher. It's respecting this level, which means I do believe it is going to go much higher. If we treated this as a key level hit here, we would have done the same thing. We would have looked for our fair value gap going up or a break of structure off of this here. Because this was already an uptrend, we would have had to backtrack all the way to here. Oh, this is an uptrend. Cool. From here, we're in an uptrend. We'd have looked for a low break of structure on the hourly. There we go. Boom. On the hourly, boom. We have no high formed. We still have to form a high in order for this to be a valid break of structure here, and that high would need to form all the way up here. I think that's what we're waiting on. Price needs to move high, very high, in order to break this structure, and it wants to per news. And I think in order for this to close up above it, it's going to need to continue higher. But because of this right here, we might actually have a valid order block off of these two candles. This past hour and a half now, I think what has happened is it created an order block. So when price shoots high the way it's supposed to, it'll respect this fair value gap. It won't close above it, but it will wick just barely above it, right? To fake out some people. Oh yeah, this is high, woo. But it will not close within the fair value gap. It'll close like right here and then barrel on back down. Let's go to the 5 minute and just observe. Because, yeah, we have a green candle now that has formed. We have a minute to closure on that candle. That's about to inverse a fair value gap. It's about to inverse this right here. Not this candle, but this candle specifically is going to inverse that. And it's gone up into our red zone here, the fair value gap I was mentioning before on the higher time frame. And again, on the higher time frame, we saw two red candles with a huge price wick up to this, and I'm pretty sure that's essentially what this is. Up, down, high, boom. Yes, this right here. To successfully break structure out of the large time frame downtrend that we see ourselves in right now, this huge downtrend at the moment, we need to break above this high. This high right here is problem number one. After this is broke through, it's going to continue higher. Boom, high here. Break through this. If it respects this, it's just a part of the downtrend. This is legit just a retrace. Respect, barrel on back down. But if it's a legit confirmed break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, and it continues up, closes above this, I am expecting price to rally even higher. Which makes sense. It makes sense in that retrospect. We have a closure, and it does disrespect this fair value gap here. I am wrong. What am I doing? I'm sorry. It's a closure below a low. This is currently the low, the most recent lowest point outside of this here, and it didn't close below this. So we didn't break structure out of this uptrend, and from this, we're seeing the move up continue. We have right now a fair value gap that's currently trying to form. I'm going to move up to the hour and watch this unfold, because if the high time frame confluence is hit and this is disrespected, we are going to be moving to the 5 minute to see exactly where things are and potentially take a trade. We have 20 minutes to take a trade. 20. Waiting patiently for our time. After that high time frame confluence, because that'll tell me exactly where price is going and where I need to enter. Remember what I was saying earlier about price shooting way high and like barely getting up to here, right? And still respecting the fair value gap? You want to guess what just happened? "48 minutes. We have 19 minutes. 18 minutes now before we are out of the market. We're not even going to touch it. You're about to see that price jump significantly. 46 minutes for this candle to close. Roughly 15 minutes until we're out of the market completely. I understand I've literally been I've been recording for what? An hour now? Yeah, almost 2 hours. This will be a longer video because I'm just watching market. Sorry. I'll pause video now because I know it's long enough. We'll go ahead and pause video. If it hits a key level, yay. If not, by 10:30, I'll unpause, say hi, bye, and then call it a day. Okay? Okay. BRB. Okay, so we're within 12 minutes. I'm making the executive decision right now. Though we got a closure above this high, the price is too indecisive. I've been looking at this for a minute now. On the hourly, right, we just closed above this high, right? Which would have been great for us. We would have said, yes, this is the valid break of structure we needed off of this huge candle down, off of these huge candles down, right? And so price is going to continue higher. But for the high time frame confluence, though we have a break of structure, we do not have an inverse for value gap, right? And then two, to note on top of that, right? We, on the 5-minute, have respected both fair value gaps. I'm sorry. Per the rules. If we broke past this, right, we'd still have a high here that's being respected. And a fair value gap that's being respected. We disrespected this one, but without breaking structure. You see my dilemma? You see my difficulty here? Because I am so unsure of where price wants to go. It's literally just ping-ponging all the way around. It's not stable enough for me to take a trade on. It's not okay. And because of it, I'm making the executive decision now. I'm not trading today. Price is all over the place. I can't get an accurate reading on it, despite my best efforts. We are 10 minutes away from that 10:30 mark, and I don't think, because now that we have seen news drop so drastic, actually news has gone up. This was news candle, and we're unable to wait the extra 10 minutes. We could wait 10 minutes, we could, honestly. But the problem is, we're respecting that fair value gap again. Price is just doing that number. Executive decision now. Sorry, comment section. I know you were expecting a trade. I was expecting a trade today, but price is not within our reach, and as a result, we're staying away from it. We're gonna let it calm down a lot before we do anything else. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I understand there was no trade. I understand we did a lot of stuff that was iffy. I also understand we did not take a trade, which was kind of sad, kind of boring, kind of meh. I'm satisfied with the money I've made this week, the $12,000. That was a massive success on my part, and I'm very, very happy with the results I had this week. I'm not going to create a video Saturday because this week has been so successful. What I am going to do is review my video from last Saturday. That was the roasting video. I forget what it's called. Hang on. Let's just, let's go. Oh, wait, no, this is the wrong. This. Boom. This one here. Yes. Not that one. Hit that button right there, by the way. Hit this button right here. Hit that one. No. This one right here. I'm going to review this video specifically, and I am going to double down on my relooking of these videos here. I want to attempt to be better at this next week. I don't want to make the same mistake I did right here, I think. No. 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 Uh, this one. Yep. I'm going to be looking at this one in conjunction with this video and these videos here, and from that, I'm going to be... Don't click it that much. If it turns blue, that's a problem. I'd advise doing this right here. Just click that, right? Let that do its thing and fix itself, because that did not look good. But I'm going to be reviewing a bunch of other videos on my channel to really dial in what exactly to improve on when it comes to this scenario. Like, this scenario right here is a prime example of price is too volatile even without news. I'm good. Yeah, no video this Saturday. I've got a stream coming up. We'll start at 2. We'll end at set 5 hours today, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. tonight. We'll have a stream for 5 hours on Elden Ring. We might actually jump around from Elden Ring to other games and have some fun. I think we are going to have a lot of fun with Elden Ring. I do. Beyond that point, though, I'm not going to be streaming anymore this week outside of Friday, today. I won't be posting anymore outside of Thursday. I do hope you guys enjoy the videos I've been putting up so far. I do put effort when recording them into them. I understand the editing side of things, it needs to get improved on, and I'm very, very tempted to drop the ball on a few things that on my part in order to accurately and to my best ability edit videos in such a way you guys actually enjoy them a lot more. I'm also thinking about rearranging a lot of the content on a few of my channels, so that way the end result is you guys still get a really good video, really good content, and they're all unique and separate. Right now, I'm aware that Orbs Vault is kind of the station for the VODs I put up through Twitch and Orbs Vault. I stream to both of them, and then the VODs that I record off those streams go straight to Orbs Vault. My idea, my process in that is thinking I can stream to both, right? And changing the location of the VODs and where they're stored. So I'll make a post on Orbs Vault. I'll pin it above the videos and everything else, right? So where if you visit that page, you can view the live streams there. I will only ever be live on Twitch and YouTube. I will not change those until I have money coming in and I can buy plans and stream to more platforms. That's kind of the goal. But outside of that, all the VODs and their storage is going to go to Patreon. That's the goal. Patreon is going to host the uncensored, unfiltered, undone everything form of those VODs, so that way you have literal content you can go to and watch and be gold with, right? In the event YouTube or Twitch doesn't like that and chooses to strike a channel for the link I post or whatever, right? The VOD location isn't going to change. What is going to happen is I'm going to create a tier that's 18 plus only, so that way they can't say I'm linking something that isn't rated for 18 plus audiences. It is for 18 plus audiences when I post streams with my friends and other stuff. I read some of the guidelines and understand YouTube's side of things, which makes perfect sense to me. I also read some of YouTube or Twitch's guidelines and makes perfect sense to me. I also read Patreon's to get a better handle on it, and I'm convinced that everything I've done up until this point, stream-wise, is completely fine. Knowing it's all in a joking manner, right? And that some of the streams I've had recently have primarily been not just boring, but educational for my sake, because I'm not smart at all. And I have learned since then that there are some things that I can post and not. As a result, I'm taking those actions very seriously, and hopefully the next stream I do today will be user friendly for all, and you guys get a kick out of it. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you for tuning into Orb Plus this week. I'll see you guys next Monday, hopefully. Let's actually check that. Boom, boom. News can change in a flash. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. JPY Bank holiday, Tuesday. Jolt's job openings, don't know what that is, but okay. CB consumer confidence, sure. We have Euro CPI, we have USD, I don't know. Hello. I don't know what that is, but that looks kind of yikes. That looks kind of yikes, kinda. I don't know what this is, but we're going to look at market when it hits. That is 9 a.m. That is prime time to trade on my part, so you might not see me Tuesday. I'll see you Monday, though. Yikes, that is terrible. I'm going to close out of that now, because that could change at any moment. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new on the comeback. Go check out some of my other channels. Links can be found in the video description as well as the channel description. I don't know why I'm putting up. You can let it go down and go left. It's like right there. The subscribe button and the channel button is right next to each other. Hit both. Check out some of my other videos. Check out the links in the description of this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.